I do have an example, a very recent one of a client of mine who for years had been, working on his own with clients, and he had a coaching program or like a membership or essentially a membership. And for years, and all it just kind of like slowly started going down and down and down until the point at the beginning of this year in 2025, he had messaged me and he's like, hey, I think I'm gonna like throw in the towel and just look for a job. And
Yeah.
what we did, we turned it around to the point in 4 months he was back at 20K recurring, 20K a month recurring, with doing like just a few clients, doing less work than he was doing before when he was making that money. And the difference was, before, he didn't have his messaging dialed in for his
Mm-hmm.
pitch. He was leaning all on his warm audience and warm traffic of people that already knew him through some authority he had. So like
Okay.
he was on a podcast, and he was on the team at a CRM company that's decently well known. And so people knew him from that. And so
Yeah.
they like that helped his authority. So he didn't have to like actually dial in his messaging as well, because people were like, I already trust him. So, I mean, okay, cool. This sounds about right. But then as he started trying to go more to cold audiences to keep the growth up, what ended up happening is it plateaued, and then the warm audiences stopped buying as much. So it plateaued, and the cold audiences weren't buying at all. So then it started going down to the point where it entered what I call Death Valley, where it's like, this is where your business goes to die. And if you don't fix your offer when it's there, that's where most people are like, well, I don't know. I guess I had a good run and I'm going to fold it, like throw in the towel. So
Yeah.
what we did to get things scaling again is we were looking at everything, and I was like, dude, this offer is awesome. Like what you do is like super valuable. And I just don't think people want this, whatever he was saying, it was that he was selling with his offer. Like, being a customer or like on the client side of that, I would say it's this. And he was like, oh, I didn't even think that, that would be it. But I was like thinking more from like a consumer standpoint of,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be looking for what you're saying. I would be looking for this. Even though they do the same thing, we're just saying different things. But all I had to do was connect that with what his audience wanted, with what he does. And you, like what you were talking about earlier with engineers, he is actually an engineer. So
Ironically,
yeah,
right? He's
exactly.
like,
And
they should
yeah,
just get it.
yeah. And it was too complicated and too detailed. And so
Yeah.
we didn't even dumb it down. I don't even want to say that, but we simplified it. And then what we did is we made sure it aligned with him and what he actually wanted to deliver, and then also aligned with his audience and what they wanted. And so then what we found is, like I mentioned, 4 months in, he went from like, I think I'm going to close down shop, to like, oh man, people are chasing me down to give me money. And I'm not even having to sell them. Like literally on the call, I'm just like, okay, cool. And they're like, how can we get started? Which before it was like he had to like sell them and chase them down, because he was doing all these things that weren't in alignment with himself and with his market. And
Yeah.
when we got him there, he's like actually working less now, and his offer is more simplified. And he actually removed things that he had added previously because he thought he just had to add them to get people to convert. But when he
Yeah.
got very clear and aligned on like that kind of triangle, he simplified his offer. So he has to do less, but the results he delivers are more powerful because he's able to communicate that. And then his
Yeah.
clients are happy to pay him, the fees that he charges. And like, yeah, we just totally changed around his business by just changing how he communicated his value.